Suffering is real, but you still get to choose to live your life. Suffering is something that every human knows. Some of us carry it quietly, some of us drown in it. Don't pretend that the pain doesn't exist. But that doesn't mean that suffering gets the final vote on whether you live fully or not. Suffering is a part of life. That's not the meaning of life. Pain shows up in every life: loss, rejection, failure, illness, loneliness. None of us can get away from it. None of us can escape from it. From mental pain, from heartache, from failures. Once again, from failures. None of us can run from it. But suffering is something that you experience, it's not something that you are. When you go through the suffering, you're still yourself. So, suffering really doesn't, it really is going to be its own self. When pain becomes your identity, it steals your future. Life is bigger than the worst thing that happened to you. You don't need to eliminate your pain to choose life. Many people wait for the pain to stop before they start living, rather than using their pain to pull them forward. It's easier said than done, but that moment of waiting for the pain to stop may never come. When you choose life, that doesn't mean that you're feeling good, that it feels good. It means that you're moving forward even though you are hurting. That's where you begin to intercept your suffering. Courage is not the absence is the s- is courage is not the absence of suffering. It is movement in spite of it. When you avoid pain, this creates more suffering. Numbing yourself, isolating yourself, escaping, pretending that you feel fine may feel safer, but avoidance only multiplies the pain. It only multiplies it. It only makes it louder. It only makes it more painful, more suffering. What you refuse to face is what is behind your back. And what else is behind your back is the past. Choosing life means to face discomfort now so it doesn't control you later. Suffering can harden you or it can teach you. Pain will change you either way. You can close your heart or it can deepen your empathy. So you have a choice. You don't have to be a hard person, even though that is what life asks of you to be hard, be hard, be hard, be hard. Suffering can make you bitter or it can make you wise. The world wants you to be bitter. Society wants you to be bitter. You don't have to choose the suffering, but you do choose what it turns you into. When you get beat down, you become lazy. That comes from you choosing to be lazy. Yes, you did suffer. So that's why it's best to pay attention to your suffering and realizing that you are suffering and you're a person that's trying to get through your suffering. When bad things are happening to you, it's like, how could this be? Yes, how could that happen to you? How could it? How could it? It's wrong and it makes you feel empty, but you don't have to choose the emptiness. You can realize, oh my goodness, I have just experienced emptiness. I have just experienced pain. I have just experienced laziness. I have just experienced heartache. You can get back up from it. Meaning makes the pain more bearable. That's why when I brought up those experiences just now, when you put meaning to it, it's easier to carry. When life feels pointless, suffering feels unbearable. So it's like if you go ahead and wrap things up and you're like, well, let me start from the end, right? There's no ending. I don't know what's going to happen at the ending. So why should I try? That is the pointlessness. That is the pointlessness that I want to, describe. You can look at life from the end and start your way from the back, which I believe is a great idea. But when it feels pointless, then your suffering is going to become unbearable. You can't handle it. You cannot handle it. The next person cannot handle that amount of suffering. But when you attach meaning to your pain, it becomes survivable. Because you're like, hold on, this is some scary territory. I'm not caring about myself. I'm negative. Uh, I changed as a person, which is okay because guess what? You get to choose who you are. You get to get back up after you've been knocked down. You get to get back up after you have been shut down. Helping others, creating something, and protecting what matters to you will give you a reason to endure the pain. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to. When you become a person that is an isolator, you're like, oh, nobody feels what I feel. Nobody feels it. Nobody feels it. And that is what isolation does. It tells you to isolate yourself. It's like, oh, everybody got their dose of happiness. Now they're all good without me. And isn't that funny that isolation can give you meaning? And then at the end of the day, you're still alone. And then you're back into that suffering because you can't do it alone. That is why. That is why it feels unbearable. Because you're like, you're saying to yourself, or I would say to myself, this feels pointless. This feels pointless. So why should I try? You gotta attach meaning to it. There was no meaning at first. That's why it was unbearable. But when you attach meaning to it, it becomes survivable. If you want to to start making art, make your art. Make it. Choosing life is not a solo mission. Strength is not silence. You are not weak. You are a human. Sometimes choosing life looks like reaching out when everything in you wants to be like, no, like screaming like the Hulk. But don't make yourself suffer that way. Somebody somewhere understands what you're going through. Somebody somewhere, and you are going to experience that refreshing feeling that you need. You're going to experience it. What you look for is what you find. Even if you're looking for loneliness, you're going to find it. But try to look for something else other than loneliness. Go and drink some water. Give your brain a second to get some hydration. When you breathe in the moment, these choices counts. Suffering is going to be a part of your story, but it does not have to tell you how your story is going to end. Choose life even if it's quiet. You're going to find what you're looking for. And don't choose loneliness. Choose choose life.